full moon in Aquarius. If you got intention candles, do not fast forward the introduction, okay? There's some message in here that is specifically for you if you got intention candles. For those of you who got secret code names, you know who you are and you know which code name, which reading is yours for these mind-blown readings. For those of you who did not purchase one yourselves but are drawn to or resonate to a secret code name, there's going to be a message in there for you. Okay, for the full moon in Aquarius, this is the first of 2 Aquarian full moons this year. Now, for those of you not familiar with me or the channel and this is your first time tuning in, be aware I got no filter, no sugarcoating. I'm a raw, real reader. I read how I read. So if that's not your thing, you got kids around, I'm always very respectful of that. I give you the opportunity to sign off now. Otherwise, we will be getting into these secret code names in just a minute. For those of you who got intention candles, okay, I have 8 of you. Okay, I have 8 of you who got intention candles. If you got an intention candle, I am being called to kid sit in Maryland. We have a family emergency going on. I am going to be in Maryland as of tonight, which does not allow me to actually, I can't bring all of my candles and all my stuff there and let them burn there. It's not possible, not in the short period of time that I have. It's not my house. It's not going to work me having a bunch of candles lit for days. And that's unfortunate. So for those of you who have them for this full moon, I am going to give you 2 options. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 options. If you got a large intention candle, I will automatically give you a secret code name for the new moon in Leo coming up, as well as the second full moon in Aquarius. So you'll get readings, actual readings, secret code names for both events. If you got a medium, I will give you a secret code name for the full moon in Leo, the next event, okay? If you do not want a reading, instead of an intention candle, I can either hold your intention candle payment for the next moon that I am able to do them, or I can refund you, okay? Or I can refund you for your candle. I don't usually do refunds, but this is just one of those situations where I think it's warranted. It is not your fault that I have a family emergency, and you bought something that I unfortunately cannot give you today. So if that is what you would like, please let me know. I will not be able to do the intention candles tonight as planned. So, right? Uranus is ruled by Aquarius. Fucking curveballs, right? Full moon curveballs. So let me know, guys. All right, I do apologize. There's nothing else I could do about it. I'm going to be kid sitting for my uncle who is going from Maryland to Florida, and he's got 3 kids, and I am the most able-bodied available person to handle it, and so I am. All right, family first, always. I hope you all would do the same. So, the secret code names, getting into the actual messages for this event, we have Invincibility, Ship a Sail, Covering Clouds, Lord Vishnu, Shooting Star, Wildflower Fields, Lavender Dragon, Blue Balloons, Malibu, Red Jelly Bean, the Chair Lamp, and Japanese Cherry Blossom. Okay, so we have 12 secret code names in total. They will be done in that order. Once this recording is done, they will all have timestamps in the description so that you can fast forward to your reading and go back if you need to. All right, I am using my Archetype cards by Kim Krans, as well as my Wild Unknown Tarot, also by Kim Krans, to give you an idea of what exactly is going on in your world and your energy with your challenges right now that you may or may not be aware are in your mirror right? And then I'm going to give you some insight into what it looks like should you heal the reality, right? Should you heal the actual reality? So starting with invincibility. 15. All right, so invincibility. Spirit, please. What is going on in their duality right now? What mirror are they facing? What mirror are they facing in their reality? And when I got the secret code name Invincibility, not invisibility, but invincibility, like you are invincible, right? I saw, I was actually shown Mario, like Mario and Luigi, when he gets the star power and he's like glowing and anything that touches him like is no longer in his way. I got invincible. So I got the shapeshifter here and Kairos. These are your 2 cards. Okay. I'm going to read these for you. Card number 15. Card number 76. Card number 15. The shapeshifter. The trickster, the elusive, the formless. The shapeshifter has a love of theater, games, and trickery. Its energy appears as one thing, only to reveal a more complex story below the surface. The shapeshifter is within all of us to some degree. It is the side of ourselves that is slippery, non-committal, and experimental, and longs to dismiss the rules. We need its energy to adapt to the ever-changing landscape of our existence. When the shapeshifter card appears, it is important to imagine you are looking at life through a kaleidoscope rather than a single focused lens. At any moment, the scene may shift, revealing a more enchanting vision than you imagined. Be wary, though, as the allure of the kaleidoscope can leave you exhausted and yearning for solid ground. Dancing long-term with the shapeshifter requires a central pillar of integrity that links us back to our center. When it's in its light, it is vibrant, adaptive, and humorous, and when dark, it is a charlatan, people-pleasing, and tricky. I'm going to read Kairos before I get into those, their combined energies. All right. Card number 76. Kairos. Mythic time. Synchronicity. We have all had the experience of timelessness, of life beyond the ticking of the clock. It may be felt as time standing still, slow motion, or losing track of time on a walk or in a lovely conversation. This is known as mythic time, and it is the territory of Kairos. This card suggests there is a secondary time continuum that goes beyond any earthly clocks and schedules. Within this non-linear realm, we access divine timing. A single moment ripens with auspiciousness, and our actions change the trajectory of our whole life. Time becomes a living thing that watches over us and tells us precisely when to speak or act. When this card appears, it is all about patience and precision. No clock can guide you. Wait for the rush of inner knowing and not a moment longer. When it's in its light, it is in alignment, and there's an ease in decision making and actions. When it is dark, you are fighting against time. So listen. You have this slippery kind of shapeshifter energy that you're mirroring in. Someone who dismisses rules, right? Like time has rules. There's so many seconds in a minute, so many minutes in an hour, so many hours in a day, and so many days in a week, and so many weeks in a year. Time follows rules here. Kairos is something that deals with mythic time, or time that seems to not exist the same way. It doesn't seem to apply by the same rules. A half an hour can go by and it feels like it's been hours. It could feel like a couple days have literally felt like weeks. Mythic time is when time doesn't seem to adhere by the actual rules. Okay? When we get slippery, when we run out of that patience, right? Patience and precision. When we start to lose our focus, that's when shit can actually hit the fan. Not following our inner guidance, not following the synchronicities, not following the easy flow of decision making and actions. It's when we are fighting the reality, right? The reality of what we know. The reality of what we know. For example, right? For example, your secret code name is Invincibility. You can truly make yourself invincible, right? To shadow, to being taken off your path, and this is how. If something is not completely lighting you up inside and changing your world the minute you meet them, chances are it's not in alignment, and it's a slippery slope to go down, right? When we have had that feeling of it is the easiest decision in my life to do everything and anything for this person because I care about them and I love them with my whole soul, and that person's having a difficult time, which makes it difficult for us to remember that they give us that feeling, we can go down a slippery slope. We can shape shift into someone they would not recognize because the person they know is the one that is always there for them and would do anything for them and would never hurt them. We can shape shift into someone who would hurt them, right? This is asking you to be very aware of your own discernment. Because if it's not giving you a fuck yeah feeling, a no-brainer, easy decision, fuck yeah feeling, it's a fuck no. If it is not a fuck yeah, it's a fuck no. Do not allow yourself to shape shift down a slippery slope where you trick yourself. Trust me. There's a reason why you feel like you can spend an eternity with some people and it still wouldn't be long enough. There's a reason why you get that feeling with some people and not others. And just because that feeling has been veiled or fogged over or disturbed for a moment in the static of healing does not mean it's gone. Does not mean it's gone. In your mirror right now, you're asked to have patience with yourself, your highest version of self. Have patience with your highest version of self, who trusts itself, who trusts what it feels, who trusts the fuck yes over the fuck no's, who knows the difference. Trust yourself. If it is a fuck yeah, it's a no-brainer. It does not require hesitation or second thought. If it's a fuck yeah, it does not require hesitation or a second thought. There is no reason that you need or no excuse that you can make to make it a fuck yeah if it's not. Because it's either a fuck yeah or it isn't. 99% is not 100. So, if you find yourself, your memory of a shadow self getting frustrated or impatient and losing focus from your best version, your loving version, who is radiant and who listens wholeheartedly to their fuck yes, the fuck yes in their soul. They remember those fuck yes. Even when the fuck yes aren't in front of them anymore, they remember they got the fuck yeah. They don't forget it. Don't forget. If you met a person who your soul said fuck yeah to, it will always say fuck yeah to that person. That fuck yeah is not gone because that person's having a hard time. Right? No matter who they are. That's why people say fuck yeah to their kids. Fuck yeah, I would do anything for my kids. Fuck yeah, without hesitation. Nothing would ever change that, even if your kid was having a bad day. Even if your kid was having a bad year. Even if your kid was having a bad decade and fucking up life all over the place, theirs and yours included, you would still love them. Fuck yeah, you would. That would never change. That's no different for some of us with our partners. It's no different for some of us with our friends. We knew the minute we met them, it was a fuck yeah. My soul's got your soul. It's got you. It's got you. Wholeheartedly. Without a doubt. No brainer. Obvious to the soul. I got you. Remembering that feeling, that fuck yeah feeling, will keep you precise and it will give you patience where needed. Okay? It'll keep you precise and give you patience where needed. I guess we're using my Barberary Tarot. My Barberary Tarot was in my Wild Unknown deck. And I had no idea. Well then, that's a surprise. We'll go with that. My Barberary Tarot. So, I know where my Wild Unknown deck is. Alright, but we're using this one. So, Spirit, give me some insight into how this will work out. How this will actually work out if secret codename Invincibility can follow through with patience and precision, following their fuck yes, and letting go of the fuck no's. How does this turn out? What can they expect of the events? What can they actually expect of the events? Yeah, you already know. High Priestess. You already know. You've pictured it in your mind. You've daydreamed about it. Worthy of quite a crown, as you can see. She's got quite the crown. King of Cups, someone who is emotionally closed. And you already know this. You already know they're emotionally closed. But that will also heal. We have the Temperance card here. That will begin to alchemize. You already have a sensing that they will start to relax emotionally and not be so uptight and or guarded. And then they'll take a much needed mental break. It'll be a much needed mental break. Empress mode. You know they've got a lot of burdens and that their own thoughts betray themselves. You know that there's certain snakes in your own mind that need a break. Thoughts that don't serve you. I think you're missing the courage in your partner. I think you're missing the courage in your partner. The emotional courage. The willpower that's so attractive about them. I think it's off-putting for you when they sabotage themselves, which is why this mirror is so important, because that means you need to have courage, emotional courage. That means you have to be able to not sabotage yourself. You need to be able to release your burdens by staying consistent, precise, accurate in your choosing. This mirror, this is the soul test you chose, especially if the person you're with gave you that fuck yeah feeling in this life. If they're struggling emotionally with courage, then you are as well. Then you are as well. You have to have the courage to face whatever it is in mythic time and not go down the slippery slope. You have to have the courage to wear that kind of crown, just as they will find the courage to wear that kind of crown when you've claimed it for yourself. Because what heals in one mirror heals in another. The healing cannot be a burden. If the healing process is a burden for them, it's because this healing process in life, this need of patience, has become burdensome for you. You have to cut the snakes off your wings, Earth Angel. Cut the snakes in your mind. This is the Four of Swords. Swords is the suit of the mind. You have to cut the snakes out of your mind, Earth Angel. Make yourself invincible to them. That should your demon thoughts, your shadow thoughts, your slippery trickster thoughts try and touch you, they would disappear as fast as they showed up. Invincible. Like Mario with his star power, nothing can touch you that would hurt you without it hurting itself and disappearing. The moment you have a thought that would distract you away from your fuck yes, tell it to fuck off. Not today, Satan, not today. Not today. Your mirror. I hope that helps. I do hope that helps. You have the strength and courage to do this. Allow it to manifest fully for yourself so that you can relieve yourself of the burden. Relieve yourself of the healing process for good. You can get through this. Imagine it like a final stretch. Mario in the last level, and he finds a fucking star. And it becomes easy to make it to the end. Super easy. So, moving on to Ship a Sail. Secret code name Ship a Sail. All right. And when I saw this secret code name, I literally saw a ship coming into the docks and heard the captain say, ahoy, like welcoming whoever was on the dock, right? Like the ship has showed up. The ship has showed up. So what is the mirror? Spirit, please. What is the mirror? Secret code name Ship a Sail is in right now. The creator. Master number 22. The creator. All right. Here we go. The artist, the alchemist, the innovator, the creator, the first archetype in the trio of existence, is not intimidated by darkness or by lack. They know that from the void, creation inevitably emerges. With meager, minimal, and outlandish materials, the creator reveals a new image. They make the empty room resonate with healing sounds. They generate bounty from the seed that others tossed away. Though generative, this archetype annihilates preconceived notions of what is possible, leaving unexpected openings in the wake of its destruction. The creator does this by first being absolutely present to what is, not imagining or wishing things were different. And second, trusting that a force greater than themselves awaits constant collaboration with each human soul. Whether we call it nature, God, goddess, Shakti, divinity, it remains nameless. It is the creator's lifelong companion. When the creator is in its light, it is curious, playful, open, and surprising. When it is dark, it loses its spark and feels burdened. Being in the creator's mirror, you have to remember that you can create something from nothing. Take seemingly meaningless things and turn them into something brand new. You can take the empty room and turn it into something that resonates as something that's completely different. You're a generator, a creator. It annihilates the impossible. Creator energy annihilates the preconceived notions of what is possible, implying what is also impossible. It annihilates what is preconceived as impossible. You can create whatever it is that you want. Being absolutely present in the now, not wishing things were different, or imagining how things would be if they were different, and trusting that a force greater than you is always ready to collaborate with you, always. That greater force, that greater power that is always in collaboration with you is the creator's lifelong companion. Your biggest obstacle right now is trusting that you can create something from nothing. You can create something from nothing. Because in the mirror, you might feel like you want to create a whole lot, even if it's just in one particular area of your life, and then you have nothing to work with. Nothing to work with. You've got a void, right? Nothing to work with. And yet the creator knows that from the void, creation inevitably emerges. You don't have nothing. You have will. You have intention. You have love. They're a different kind of paintbrush in the void. Understand something. This is your mirror. You got to remember that it's okay to be curious. It's okay to be playful with life. It's okay to be open to life. It's okay to sit there and watch that nothingness exist, knowing that something's going to come from it. That it can't stay nothing forever. Can't. You're in the creator energy. Do not doubt or wish things were different. It's so divinely perfect, you have no idea. If you're in the creator mindset, that you can create anything, even from nothing, and that you can annihilate the impossible, you will. So Spirit, what does this look like? Should they succeed in their creator energy? Should they succeed in their creator energy? What do the events unfolding look like? The Hierophant. Commitment. Marriage to the self or another. Higher learning. The forever bond between the teacher and the student. Really, I keep hearing that over and over, the forever bond between the teacher and the student, those who have taught you and you have taught them. A King of Swords, someone who is very deep in thought, possibly getting lost in darker thoughts, but who is wise and has the wisdom beyond their years. Seeing the higher perspective and maybe forgetting for a moment. We've got the Fool card here, wearing a mask and standing up for the self or defending the self, but being of a monkey mind. Fool taking a leap of faith, knowing that they're putting on a show. It's almost pretending. It's almost pretending you're not as aware as you are. These are all masculines on the cards. Even the monkeys are masculine. Every single card has a masculine energy. Very deep and dark contemplative thoughts. Wearing the mask and playing dumb, defending the self. You got to ask yourself how that applies in your mirror. How do you have wisdom beyond your years? You know the wisdom, you know the way, but that you're ruminating in dark thoughts, deep contemplative thought that is of low vibrational alignment. Trusting blindly, but wearing the mask and defending your own monkey mind. Right? Look at these cards. Fool's wearing the mask and you got two monkey minds on top of a hill. That's the dark wisdom. King of Swords. If you're afraid, you know, with the wisdom, right, of the King of Swords, if you're afraid of something, you know what you fear appears, right? You know what you fear appears. If you're afraid of something, it's because you know you're not actually acting in your highest alignment. These are all masculine cards, and as a mirror, you might not actually be acting in accordance with your higher alignment. You've got to be committed to being both the teacher and the student with life. You've got to create something from nothing. You're in the creator's mirror. You've got to be able to create something from nothing and not play dumb like there is nothing you can do. You've got willpower, you've got intention, you've got love. Use them to paint. Because that's what's holding you up. The forever bond you have is the teacher and the student. Right now, that's what's in your way. You know, I just taught my son this, and Tanya has talked about it. The finger testing. I may have mentioned it in the last readings, the last moon event readings. Your body's a divine instrument, okay? And it cannot lie to itself. If you hold the intention to receive the truth, to be taught by your higher self as the student, to receive the truth, that's your intention, and you ask a question, it will resonate and be the same for everyone who asks that question. So if I ask the question, are you meant to reach out to someone? And I try and pull my fingers apart as hard as I can, and they don't pull apart, the answer is yes. If I ask if the sky is purple, I mean, they pull right apart. The sky's not fucking purple. But if I ask if you're meant to reach out to someone, the answer is a clear yes. I don't know if you can actually see the strain in my hands and in my wrists. Your masculine energy is defending its monkey mind. Wearing a mask and not taking a leap of faith. If you trust your masculine energy, think about what that does in your mirror. Think about what that does in your mirror. You trust your masculine energy starts to trust you. I hope that helps. Commit to being both the teacher and the student. That's integration with your higher self. I hope that helps. moving forward. Covering clouds. Secret code name, covering clouds. Secret code name, covering clouds. Spirit, please. Let's blow their mind. What is the archetypal mirror they are in right now? What is the archetypal mirror they are in right now? Secret code name, covering clouds. The shapeshifter, the healer, and agape. We read the shapeshifter. That was about possibly going down a slippery slope, right? Knowing when to see the world instead of through a straight lens, but through a kaleidoscope, and when the kaleidoscope is no longer effective because it's pulling you down that slippery slope to focus. Now with the healer, card number 25, and agape, card number 72. I'm going to read these for you. If you want to know what the shapeshifter actually says, you can go to the first reading. But that is the gist of it, right? It's a slippery slope kind of archetypal energy that you kind of have to pleasantly be aware of while you play with it, but discern, right? Discern. So the healer. Card number 25. The light worker, the gifted, the old soul. Though some claim the work of the healer as their gift and name it as their dharma, the force of this archetype is within everyone. It is our natural inclination to remember, to return to, and to reclaim that central and eternal life force from which we so easily drift away. In Sanskrit, the word avidya means, quote, forgetting. And it is said that this is the source of all suffering and dis-ease. The healer's mission then becomes to move through the comfort of forgetting, through the veils of ignorance and denial, to reveal the radiance that already exists. The healer approaches this in multiple ways, from multiple angles, knowing the cycle of healing is not linear. It is a multi-layered and circuitous process, always leading back to its own origin, much like the Ouroboros. When it's light, it is self-contained, grateful, and awake. When it is dark, it is tired, needy, and forgetting its own practice. I'm going to read agape before I continue with the merged energies of these three cards. Card number 72. Agape. Devotion, unconditional love. What if instead of putting yourself at the center of your spiritual practice, you put God, Goddess, or nature at the center? How would this change your approach? Such is the energy of agape. It is alive when we are in awe and wonder, our breath taken away by the sacred force that surrounds us and asks for nothing in return. This card can indicate a spiritual initiation that stretches your capacity to love and serve. You sense the earthly as the heavenly and vice versa. Such an initiatory moment can appear in any form, and, like a healing balm to the modern soul, its effects last a lifetime. The agape card may also suggest you reassess what you worship every day, consciously or unconsciously. What are you elevating? Where does the sacred ladder you climb ultimately lead to? When it is in its light, it is of service and reverence and honor and joy. When it's in its darkness, it is spiritually bypassing and righteous. You got to realize where you're at right now is in fact on a slippery slope. It is tempting you to lose focus. It's tempting you to lose focus. You are a healer in this life, and that's sworn to unconditional love. So what do you worship? The feeling in the moment, or the healing of your soul, your service to self, or your service to the greater self, your human self or your greater self? How are you honoring that which you are meant to love unconditionally? And how are you possibly slipping down the slope to dishonoring it? Okay. This is the mirror that you're in. You are in the healer's unconditionally loving mirror, and you're on a slippery slope. What does it look like, Spirit, please, when they get a rein on this energy and can stay in its light? What events unfold? What are the events unfolding? Give us some insight. You have to realize you're of higher service here. It is not of service to yourself. It is of higher service. Service to the greater soul, the oversoul, the connected soul that is one, not the self. We get the Knight of Cups. Well then. Get the Knight of Cups and the Two of Cups. The Queen of Cups, the Four of Swords, and the Moon. You got to cut the snakes out of your mind when it comes to possibly a mother figure or your Cancerian energy. Especially if you have a Cancer moon. Because the Queen of Cups is sometimes connected with Cancer, the mother of water. See, Cancerian energy is about self-nurturance, but it isn't about nurturing the human self all of the time. The balance is about nurturing the higher self, loving the higher self, and honoring the higher self. Losing practice. When is the last time you sat and spoke gratitude? Five of Coins, feeling alone. Eight of Wands, Two of Swords. Because you've got to understand, you're the weaver of your own web. You're the creator of your own life. If you feel alone, and that's where your thoughts go, you're actually hurting yourself in the ripple. As an unconditionally loving healer, being in the mirror, when is the last time you consciously made the effort to practice that every day and speak words of gratitude? Every day. Instead of feeling alone or feeling in shadow. What snakes are in your mind? What demon thoughts, dark thoughts are in your mind surrounding your Cancerian moon? That you'll always have to love yourself and that no one else will love you the same way? Is that a thought that stirs? How can you love yourself more by loving the greater? How can you be of service? How can you be of service to the greater? Because you're not alone in this world. Find yourself grateful for your gifts of nurturance, that you're able to nurture others, that you're able to love others unconditionally. Make sure you're not hoarding your higher service to the greater and ignoring your higher wisdom, because there's definitely an owl or a hawk in the background on this card. You could see the wing there. You've got to create better energy. Use your gifts. The Queen of Cups is highly intuitive. Use your gifts. Embrace your gifts. Your ripple. Your ripple is important to soulmates that you have here in the greater. You should be communicating that love outright. The Knight of Cups. To be completely fair, you should be doing readings. Secret codename Covering Clouds. Clouds are sometimes a symbol of mental fog that is covering the clear skies. You've got to clear the clouds out of your mind. Clear the clouds out of your moon. Even the sky here is fogged, covering clouds, like overcast. Clouds here is what you're creating and weaving. Clouds in the sky, fog. You've got to get clear about your ripple. See where that takes you. See where that takes you. Because if you're not of purpose serving the higher, right? If you're not of purpose serving the higher, you are not actually self-loving or or serving yourself. You're not being of highest service to yourself and your own life's creation as a healer in the vibration of unconditional love. Unconditionally love yourself as the healer. Put that self forward. It will blow your mind when you align with that. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. That was Secret Codename Covering Clouds. All right. Secret Codename. Lord Vishnu. Secret codename Lord Vishnu. If you don't know who Lord Vishnu is, he has literally come forward as a guide for you. I would absolutely Google Lord Vishnu and research his energy and what he represents. Okay. As well as his counterpart. So here we go. Lord Vishnu and his energy is coming forward with you to help you and aid you and guide you. Spirit, please, for secret code name, Lord Vishnu, and those who resonate with it, what mirror are they in? Let's blow their minds. What mirror, what archetypal mirror are they in that they need to see? What mirror are they in? The riddle. The riddle. Card number 53. The puzzle, the question, the mystery. When the riddle is present, one must stop searching for the quote, right answer. It cannot be found, and ultimately it is not important. Rather, there must be a shift from the literal to the metaphorical, from logic to mythic. You are thinking too small and literally about the situation. The riddle card appears when the energy is deep and mysterious, like the elusive wisdom of the Zen koan. Focusing harder won't do it. Neither will increased effort. Time, surrender, and humor are your only allies. What feels like the most pressing dilemma won't reveal its deeper wisdom for a long time. Eventually, you'll learn a profound lesson from the riddle. For now, get comfortable with the limitations of your intellect and the reality of not knowing. It may, in fact, be the only reality there is. In its light, the riddle is a great awakening or aha moment. And when it's dark, it manipulates, deceives, and falls to trickery. If this is the mirror that you're in, you are trying to solve a problem mentally, trying to find an answer mentally. An answer that is not meant to be found that way. Think about a Chinese finger trap, especially because there's all these fingers on the card, all these hands. Think about a Chinese finger trap. You put your fingers in, and logically it would make sense if you want to get your fingers out, you pull your fingers out. But the more you try and pull them out, the more your fingers are actually stuck in the trap. But when you stop pulling, logically it would make sense. Get your fingers out, you pull them out. Logic isn't your friend here. It's funny, right? Humor. It's funny. When you stop thinking and allow yourself rather to push your fingers further in, to slide the trap closer together to the center and hold it there, you can pull your fingers right out. The logical solution is not the way. Take time to surrender and figure out how it works, and laugh at the so opposite being the answer. The contradiction of it. Find it funny. The more you look for an answer, the further away you actually get from the answer. But to stop looking for the answer and surrender, the answer reveals itself. The humor of the universe. When you stop looking, you find it. It's no different than when you're putting a puzzle together. Sometimes you're looking for a piece and looking for a piece and looking for a piece and looking for a piece, and before you know it, you've spent so much time focusing on that one piece and not being able to find it that you haven't put in any pieces to the puzzle. But if you were to simply just allow yourself to put whatever pieces you find together and not focus on that piece, you'll find the piece without trying. Just like, oh, there it is. Just go be your best self. Go live your best life. Don't worry about the problem. don't focus on the problem, because focusing on the problem persists. Resisting the fact that there is a problem persisting is what is making it persist. Fuck the problem. Forget about the problem. Don't think about the problem. The problem's going to work itself out. That's the whole point. The problem's going to work itself out. Insight, please, Spirit, into the events unfolding for secret code name The Riddle. What are the events unfolding if they can let go and release the logic? If they stop focusing on the problem, the mystery, the riddle. What are the events unfolding? The world. The cycle closes. Problem solved. Problem solved. Reinvention of the self, rising like the phoenix. This is a time where you can reinvent yourself. Your wish will be granted. 9 of Cups. You'll be singing in your truth. Wearing your truth as a part of your skin, as a part of yourself. That your truth is clear and unchanging for all to see. Wish granted. When you stop worrying about the problem, the cycle closes and you get to reinvent yourself in the truth. The truth is wish granting. And that's when the divine miracle happens. That's when the Tower hits and changes everything. The Tower being card 16. 1 being the number of initiation and beginning. 6 being the number of unconditional love. To the 7, which is the vibrational number of divine miracle and divine intervention. The answer presents itself. The answer presents itself. Whatever you're worrying about, fuck it. It's all good. All you have to know is there's a solution out there, and you don't have to know what it is right now. You just have to trust that it exists and that it will, in fact, show up when you align with your truth and let that shit go. Hope that helps. Hope that helps. You're making it harder for yourself than you have to. You're making it impossible for yourself. Time is irrelevant. When it says it can take a long time, the deeper wisdom won't reveal itself for a long time. That's relative. A long time could be 2 weeks. That's a long time for some people. Timing is a matter of alignment. So align yourself and let it go, let it go. And just do your best life in alignment with the truth your soul knows, that there is a solution that will reveal itself in time, and that's perfect. Perfect. I don't have to try and figure it out. It's just out there. It's going to come in. Perfect. Just let it go. I hope that helps. The answer is already there. All right. Secret codename Shooting Star. Secret codename Shooting Star. All right, Spirit. Secret codename Shooting Star and those who would resonate to it. What is the mirror they're in? Let's blow their mind. Let's blow their mind. What is the mirror they are in? The Vow. Card number 54. The promise, the oath, the contract. When the vow is spoken, the air shifts. Karmic ties are formed, and destiny tilts on its axis. There is a reason the great mythic stories of our past often include the recitation of oaths and the mixing of drops of blood as a mark of union. The tricky part is that reciting the vow, no matter how casually, activates the eternal and unseen forces of the world. The ancestors bear witness. The laws of nature respond. These promises cannot be unsaid or forgotten, so breaking them can leave lingering complexities and loose ends. This card calls us to acknowledge the vow we are living by, consciously or unconsciously, and either recommit to it or create a ritual that signifies its closure. You've been underestimating the power of your promises. What vow have you made yourself? That has altered your manifestations off your destined course? What vow or promise have you made another that you know you can't keep if you're going to get back on your destined path and divine course? Who did you commit to? What did you commit to? Maybe you wished upon a shooting star to find the greatest love you've ever known, and yet you vowed at some point in your life to never love again. Maybe you vowed to never hurt a soulmate of yours, that you would never hurt them, knowing they have a fucking thing for you and you don't have a thing for them, and you'll never actually be with them, but you vowed to never hurt them. Because they're a good person and they love you and they care about you a lot. But you'll never actually be with them. So never hurting them is impossible because you're already hurting them. On some level, being in their life, but never actually being with them. You follow what I'm saying? As an example. This is your mirror. This is your mirror. You have to understand that you made a promise to yourself on your soul that you cannot keep. It's like forsaking the self. You have no greater vow than the one you've made to your highest self. Your soul. The highest vow you can hold is to your own soul, because your own soul does not ask you to vow anything to it. But should you vow your soul to another, and it's not an alignment, it's a promise you can't keep to yourself or another, you're gonna have to do something literally to stop it, to close it. Even if it is lighting a candle and holding your crystal and looking out the window at the moon tonight. Because full moons are great for release. And saying, Spirit, I acknowledge that I made a vow that I can't keep. I made a vow that I can't keep. A promise I can't keep. Please help me release it now. Please help me release it now so that I can better align with my highest good and whoever I'm breaking the promise to, that they can align with their highest good as well. What they deserve, what is best for them. I release myself of this vow. I release myself of this promise that I cannot keep. Hold your crystal to your chest and pray to be free of the promise you made that you cannot keep. That you are aware that making that promise to begin with was in fact a misstep on your behalf. Thank your crystal. Lay it in front of your candle at the window and let it burn until it's out. Knowing that your intention for release was heard and completely realized. Free yourself of the promise. Spirit will happily realign you and whoever else is in the mix. It will happily aid you and realign everyone involved. Spirit insight, please, for secret code name Shooting Star. Insight, please. What does this event's unfolding look like? Should they be in alignment with their light, bearing witness to their shift towards destiny? Wish fulfilled. Wish fulfilled. When you hop into the truth and you recognize that you made a promise in your soul that you can't keep, Spirit says, I heard your wish. I heard your prayer. Answered. Prayer received and answered. And you know it. High Priestess, you know it. You'll feel it. You'll feel your soul get lighter. You'll feel it. And you won't feel like you're missing opportunities anymore. You won't feel like you're just a robot going through motions because you're required to by vow and oath. You'll finally be able to rest. You'll finally be able to relax. And you might mourn the loss of the commitment for a time, which is normal. You're human. But you've got to know you are the creator of your own destiny, and you're either going to weave yourself a madhouse or an empty house Or you're going to weave yourself a beautiful one, a dream home. You're the one directing your life, not bound by vows and oaths. You're the Empress, the divine feminine, the ultimate receiver. When you allow yourself to stop weaving with the devil, to stop weaving with the devil, because the devil is the one that holds you to that karmic contract, that vow, that oath that was misaligned. That's the contract with the devil. Devil energy. Contract with your shadow self that refuses to heal. A contract with someone else's shadow self that is afraid to heal. The shadow self doesn't trust life. The shadow self doesn't trust what it's capable of creating. The shadow self isn't confident in itself. The shadow self has regrets. The shadow self is afraid of being angry and hurt. The shadow self convinces itself of a lie. The shadow self believes in a bullshit vision that they don't actually feel would ever manifest. It's like people promising, well, if we're 40 years old and single, we'll get married. But you know, dang right well, you ain't meant to be with them. That's a, I'll settle for you if you settle for me and we're both single and still afraid that we'll never find anybody. Fuck that oath. Go find someone. You know what I mean? Fuck that vow. Spirit, release me from that. I don't plan on being single and 40, period. I'm sorry, they're looking forward to it. They're looking forward to being 40 and single and being with me. But I'm not actually looking forward to being 40 and single and settling for that. Not that they're not a great person, but I know I'm not meant to be with them. You understand? There is a vow, an oath, a promise that needs breaking. Yeah, someone will miss you. Yeah, the truth will hurt a little bit for a while. But they'll be grateful you freed them of those devil chains too. Freed them from their shadow. That they could face their shadow and realize there was nothing to actually be afraid of. No doubt they ever had to hold for themselves. No guilt on them that they would hurt someone else who was actually admiring them or interested in them because they're holding out for you at 40. You'll free them to actually open themselves up to someone else who loves them the way you know they deserve to be loved, that you never would. As an example, right? Take it as it resonates for you. Take it as it resonates for you. And never make promises you can't keep. Your soul knows if you can keep a promise or not. If you want to make a promise, it's because it's easy to fulfill and you'll fulfill it naturally, and you don't even need the promise, you'll fulfill it naturally. Don't make promises you can't keep. Trust me, because you'll have that feeling here that's kind of sinking and pulling you in, like, don't say it, don't do it, don't do it, don't say it. Don't. Because if you say it anyway, you're going to have to break that promise. You're going to have to eat your words. I hope that helps. That's the mirror you're in. Okay. Wildflower Fields. Secret code name. Wildflower Fields. Spirit, let's blow their mind, shall we? What mirror are they in? Wildflower fields. What mirror are they in? And I did see so many different wildflowers. I saw cosmos and daisies and pansies and violets, like whole slew of wildflowers. Wild chamomile, you name it. Whole slew of wildflowers. Spirit, what mirror are they in? Let's blow their mind a little. Where are they at? Where are they at in the mirror? What mirror are they facing? What mirror is staring back at them? The shadow. The shadow. Card number 28. The unspeakable, the unwelcome, the denied. Although every card in the archetypes deck has a shadow potential, this card asks us to delve into the qualities of the shadow itself. We often think that the shadow can be purified, illuminated, and made right through effort and achievement. However, it is typically the case that our lofty pursuit of ascension and perfection is the very source of shadow material itself. By rejecting parts of ourselves and the world, we begin to separate from the whole. Rather than getting to know the qualities and content of our shadow, we are busy ourselves with avoiding its presence. This is denial. When this card appears, it is time to take inventory of those things you've been denying. When the mind responds with, no, anything but that, you are touching shadow. Find support for this deep inner work and move toward the shadow with patience and compassion. When light, the shadow is revealing the unconscious aspects of the self and the world. When the shadow is dark, it is denying the unconscious aspects of the self and the world. I'm going to give you a great example. No, anything but that. Let's just say you write a letter to someone, right? You write a letter to someone because if the letter is successful, you will receive what you need to heal in return. To get the answer, no, we're not going to give it to you. The response would be no, anything but that, anything but hearing the answer no, anything but that. I need what they have. I need it. I need it to heal. Anything but that. I don't want to hear the word no. Anything but that. Why? Are you afraid that without what they have, you can't heal yourself? That your vibration and your alignment is not enough? Think about it, the unconscious aspects of the self. In its light, the shadow reveals what you are capable of. If the answer is no, then it is telling you that you have the power within yourself to heal it yourself, and you don't need what they offer. If you can be in the alignment that you accept that you can heal yourself, and that no matter what they said in response, you fully intend to heal yourself with or without their help, you will find a way. You believe in your energy. You believe in your alignment. You believe in your unconscious, unknown abilities to heal yourself. You expect yourself to be your own miracle. Think about the shadow. You're denying what you yourself are capable of. Unspeakable, unwelcome, the denied. Why is this energy in your mirror? Why is someone or something not speaking to you? Why is someone or someone not welcoming you in their life? Why are you being denied? In the mirror, you're denying what you are capable of, with or without the help of anybody else. Healing. You're denying yourself. You're not speaking in those words. No, anything but that. You're not welcoming your whole self. No, anything but that. Soul sister. You are capable. 100%. In healing yourself. Whether it is manifesting the answer to a letter that you want, or by other means. Look how far you've come already. Look how far you've come already. Are you not capable? Because this mirror would beg to differ and say you are very capable. If you believe you're not. And if you believe you are, this is asking you to truly rise to that vibration and let go of any attachment you have to the fear of failure, the fear of no, the fear of denied, the fear of forever being unwelcomed or unspoken to. This is the mirror you are in. If you can manifest your illness, you can manifest your wellness. You cannot manifest one if you cannot manifest the other. That's how powerful you are. You are capable. Spirit insight, please, into the events unfolding in mastering this mirror, in mastering the shadow. The High Priestess, you already know. You already know the fears inside your head. You don't know if you can do it. Doing it, choosing it is divine masculine power. You don't know if you can do it. You already know you can. Part of your soul already knows you can. Unconsciously already knows you can. It was designed that way. You can heal all of your wounds, all of them. All of your dis-ease, all of them. You've got to deal with the imprisonment thoughts in your own head, where you keep yourself stuck an impossible. Believing that something is impossible is keeping you in shadow. Your Empress, your ability to receive your healing comes from your masculine power. Your ability to receive the Empress, as the Empress, you have to be able to receive your healing from your alignment and believe it, that your alignment is so damn good, it can literally heal you, and you have to be willing to receive it. It can heal you. Your alignment is so good. You will manifest everything and anything required to heal you, even if it's just simply your own alignment and you wake up fucking healed one day. You wake up healed one day. Yeah, you've got to shine heart overhead. Hanged Man and the Sun. You've got to be able to see things from a different perspective inside the shadow. You're the sun, and this is a realm of light. Think about it. The earth is a realm of light. This world, this life exists because of the light. This is a light realm. If the sun went out and there was no light, this entire world and everything in it would stop. It would not exist. It would not exist. Not for us, not souls, not here. This world, this life is a realm of light. And only the light works here. Being in shadow doesn't work here. Being in shadow and denying our light and all of its ability to create does not work here. Write it on your wrist. Write it on your left wrist so that you can receive it. I am capable. Love, infinite and eternal. I'll do it with you. Receive it. I am affirmations. I am capable. Because you are. The shadow has no hold over you here. The only place it can gain hold is in the mind, because the light, our skull, literally shields our mind from the light. It's the only place it can exist unless we bring the light to our mind. It can only exist in the body unless we bring light to the body. Bring light consciously to your shadow. Heal it. Heal it. Let everything else manifest for you and fall into place. I am capable. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. All right. Moving forward. Secret code name, Lavender Dragon. Let's blow their mind, Spirit, shall we? Let's blow their mind. Spirit, what mirror are they in? Lavender Dragon, what mirror are they in? What mirror is staring back at them? Lavender Dragon. What mirror are they facing? What mirror is reflecting at them? The vow. Somebody else got this. The vow. I believe it might have been secret code name Shooting Star. You might want to watch it. The vow is the mirror. All right. Card number 54. Come on. The promise, the oath, the contract. When the vow is spoken, the air shifts, karmic ties are formed, and destiny tilts on its axis. Our words and intentions have immense power. There is a reason the great mythic stories of our past often include the recitation of oaths and the mixing of drops of blood as a mark of union. The tricky part is that reciting the vow, no matter how casually, activates the eternal and unseen forces of the world. The ancestors bear witness. The laws of nature respond. These promises cannot be unsaid or forgotten, so breaking them can leave lingering complexities and loose ends. This card calls us to acknowledge the vow we are living by, consciously or unconsciously, and either recommit to it or create a ritual that signifies its closure. You've been underestimating the power of your promises. When it is in its light, it is bearing witness to the shift toward destiny. When dark, it is unconscious vows, unkept promises, and messy karma. I used the example of promising to never hurt someone, vowing to them, oh, don't worry, I love you, I will never hurt you, I promise, I will never hurt you, I would never hurt you, I love you, I care about you, I would never hurt you. But you know they love you more than a friend, and you only look at them as a friend, and you would never actually be with them. And you promised them you would never hurt them because you didn't want to ever hurt them, but it's a promise you couldn't keep because you're hurting them already. They're sitting around waiting for you, loving you, and hurting because you won't ever actually be with them. It's like the promise that you make your friends when you're younger. Like, if we're both 40 and single, we'll be with each other. Sure. But most of the time, either both people know outright they don't actually want to be with each other and they're doing it as a joke, but the vow is spoken anyway. And they're always leaving this person or leaving that person because, well, at the end of the day, at least I'll be with someone. And they're not caring about their actual relationships in life like they should because they've got a safety net, a fallback. Maybe one person really does love the other and want to be with the other, but the other person doesn't actually want to be with them. They're just agreeing because, well, it's stupid. Of course I'm going to find somebody else. And maybe the person who really wanted to be with you at 40, because they know they can't be with you now, they're not your type. They never were. They were never meant to be with you, so they're fingers crossed, banking on 40. They might be hurting people that actually love them and care about them because they're holding out for you at 40, kind of thing. It's making a vow or a promise that should have never been made. This is the mirror you're in. If you're not attracting what you want, if you're not finding what you want, what promise did you make that you can't keep? That if you're destined for happiness a certain way, who did you make a promise to that it would hurt for you to live out your destiny and happiness? Full moons are all about release. You're going to have to talk to Spirit and recognize that you made a misstep, you made a mistake. You made a promise you should have never made. Because it's interfering in your life and theirs. And theirs. They're as on the hook for that karma as you are. That vow was made. You're as on the hook for that karma as they are. This is a reminder you can't make promises you can't keep. Or you will absolutely break that promise and hurt someone. Or you will eat your words and hurt someone. So you've got to ask and pray to be released from that mistake. Because the first vow and the only vow ever made that ever mattered, that trumps all other vows, was the one you made to your highest self, the soul of the one. To exist and heal and live your best life, your destiny. Your greatest ripple, your highest aligned ripple. And you can't hold that vow sacred if you've made another karmic vow to someone else and said, this is more important. No, it's not. Your vow to your highest self, your highest alignment. That was your first vow, and you cannot break it by making a different one. There's consequences to that. Because you're not getting out of your first vow, your initial vow, the only vow that matters. You're not getting out of it. That's the first vow you made. Every false karmic vow must be broken because the original vow cannot be broken. Unless you are willing to ask the one, the soul of the one, to release you from your vow to it so that you can wholeheartedly commit your soul to another for the rest of your lifetimes. That you vow to love them and serve them unconditionally above all others for the rest of your lifetimes. If you are not prepared to do that, you better be prepared to release the promise you made that you can't keep. What does it look like, Spirit? The unfolding of this mirror as it heals. The page of coin. Walking through the door. Having your armor on, feeling guarded. Limiting your sight. As the Queen of Cups, because you do feel like you're meant to love them, but not in the way that they want, and you know that. Could be a promise you made to yourself too, to never love again, never get hurt again, to never open up again like that. You got to break that vow. You got to break that vow. If you promise to never open up and love again at some point in your life, you got to literally look to the stars and ask Spirit to please release you from that vow because you made a mistake. Page of Swords, Fool, the Queen of Swords, you're going to have to give somebody the harsh truth. You're going to have to take the mask off. You got to take a leap of faith and take the mask off. Or risk never actually fulfilling your destiny. We've got the Page of Coin clarified by the Fool card, and they're both wearing masks covering their face. The Fool is wearing a mask, covering his face, staring at death in the face, the death of the self. And the Page of Coin here is wearing such a helmet that half his face is covered and he can't see clearly. You've got to step into the Queen of Cups energy with the Page of Sword energy and just say it. You got to speak the truth. Queen of Swords, you got to let the truth roar. You got to let the truth protect you and them. You got to trust that you're freeing not just yourself, but them too. The crystal clear truth from the heart that you want the absolute best for them and they deserve better than whatever love or promise you made them. They deserve better. And that's the truth. You love them too much to hurt them by keeping a promise you can't keep. A promise that keeping it would only hurt you both. And that is what heals it. The heart's truth heals it. If you made a promise to yourself that you would never again, the truth is you do want it again. You want love again. You don't want the pain, but you want love. Maybe you do want to be married in soul, not necessarily legally on paper. I would never do that again. I made a promise to myself I would never do that again. When the truth in your heart says you do. And it's not manifesting because you made a vow to yourself, never again. And the reality is you want it again. Just better. Whatever promise you made, let the love in your heart, the truth, set you free. Admit to Spirit you made a mistake. You didn't know any better when you made that vow at the time. And you release it now. You close that contract, that vow, that oath now. You relinquish it. And never make another promise or vow or oath you would not keep. I hope that helps, because that's the mirror you're in. That is the mirror you're in. All right, secret code name, Blue Balloons. Here we go. Secret code name, Blue Balloons. And I did hear the song Black Balloons by the Goo Goo Dolls, but I very distinctly saw light blue balloons floating through the sky. Light blue is the color of the throat chakra, is the color of truth, right? The color of truth. I believe you have moved out of the energy of black balloons and have risen in your truth, right? Maybe the lyrics of that song hold some kind of key for you. Truth. The vision, right? We're blowing your mind. This is the mirror that you're in. We got the vision. Card number 55. 55 is a master number. Here we go. The dream, the imagined, the revealed. It is said that we are each born with a unique vision, a destiny toward which we are aimed. It is also said that we forget this vision the moment we are born. Thus, we are sent on a lifelong journey of rediscovery. Such is the elusive nature of the vision. It slips away, yet it guides. It appears in strange dreams and surreal images, seemingly unattainable and preposterous. When we are connected to the vision, we carry an inspired, enchanted aliveness that others recognize. We trust the world and its synchronicities. We walk through new doors and wondrous opportunities. We all want to be near those with vision. They emit energy more potent than any elixir. When we lose connection to the vision, life becomes dull and exhausting, lacking in meaning. Bringing back the mystery, bringing back the dreams. Bring back the mystery, bring back the dreams. When the vision is in its light, it is potent imagination, synchronicity, and trust. When the vision is dark, it is disconnected from art and dreams, listless and aimless. You have to understand the mirror that you're in. A part of you is witnessing in your mirror the listless, the aimless, or the disconnection from your dream. The light of this would be to not lose the vision, but to let your imagination run with all the different possible ways it could possibly come to light, and know that there's a million more that you are not capable of imagining, but know in your heart that one of them exists. Following the synchronicities and the trust that you have in them and in your higher self. My timer just said 11:55, 1:11:55. This is card 55. 55 is a number of balance within and ascension, moving beyond master teacher into the realm of master guide, master guardian. You are the guardian of a vision. And a part of you may be witnessing the loss of vision. That someone in your reality would lose the vision or lose the dream. Fall into that black hole in their lives. And they're not thinking about tomorrow. And lost in their room. And I'll become what you became to me. Do not become the lost vision, because they lost their vision, connection with their vision. If you have a deep trust in something in soul, let the truth help you elevate. Let the truth help you elevate. Because you held a vision, felt connected deeply in soul to that vision. Be well aware. Nobody can save them from themselves except them. And nobody can save you from yourself but you. So you can let go of all attachments and all strings and all amounts of caring for the time, because maybe it's not warranted. Justifiably so. They're living in a black hole in their life. They're living in a vibration of lost vision. But you don't have to lose the vision. Your connection to the vision. You can trust that it's working out in a way of one in the millions of possibilities you couldn't possibly conceive. You couldn't possibly think it up in your mind. This is the mirror you're in. Don't lose sight of the vision you're creating for yourself that you're streamlined focused on. Because your alignment with the vision, your follow through with the vision, your nailing of that vision is ultimately going to line you up with the higher vision in a way that you might not be able to perceive, in a way that you might not be able to imagine. Well, how could this link to that? It's called energy. Your energy could be so streamlined, high, it reminds someone of the vision they had a hard time reconnecting to, the vision they forgot, the vision that's been eluding them. You're hand in hand with someone here. The two owls. Don't forget the vision. It was a beautiful vision. One your soul believed in. Have potent imagination, trust the synchronicities. Trust the synchronicities you're getting. Hierophant 5, the sun. 19 breaking down to a 1 again, 1s and 5s. Initiating shift, divine guardian, master guardian. Commit to the light. Commit to your ability to create your greatest vision. Whether you remember what it is or how you intended to create it or not. Bust through the fucking doors, divine feminine. Bust through the fucking doors. Limits? I open doors. Divine Empress energy. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. You're a queen of manifestation. Queen of coin, queen of manifestation. Master manifester. You want it, you can speak it into form. Like magic. You can speak it into form. That is the mirror you're in. The vision is the mirror you're in. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. So, moving forward. Secret code name Malibu. Secret code name Malibu. Spirit lets below their minds. What mirror are they in? What mirror is looking back at them? What's reflecting back at them? What mirror is secret code name Malibu in? The Poet. Card number 7. The Poet. The artist, the witness, the truth teller. The poet's work is to feel immensely and not be afraid. They must seek out truth in the darkest corners of their world and carry it back for all to see. This unique capacity resides within us all, regardless of our relationship to creativity. When the poet energy is present, there is a call for deep honesty and reflection, for seeing the big picture within the little one. The poet rides effortlessly between the personal and the universal. It's possible that others may not seem to listen or care about the poet's work, but do not be discouraged. The words of the poet ring true for centuries to come, soothing the wounds of despair and violence that captivate our worlds. The poet's work is never finished. Find your voice and trust the wind will carry it. The poet is related to the shaman and the bridge. These archetypes hover in the meeting place between the everyday and the sacred. When light, the poet is clairvoyant, wise, and timeless. When dark, their words are harmful. They have a sharp tongue and have thwarted creativity. The mirror you're in, you have really deep feelings and no outlet. Or at least think you don't. Should write poetry. Not only should you write poetry, it should be seen, or at least viewable to the world. Whether it's a blog or, God, I know there's a certain app just for that. Just for poets, just to share their poetry. You could post it on Facebook, create a pen name, an alias as a poet. Make a new profile or a page for just your poetry and let whoever resonates to it and finds it resonates to it and find it. Because whatever you're feeling, you're not alone in feeling it. There's other people out there that feel it, that understand, who also need to feel understood, like they're not alone. If you have deep feelings, intense feelings, instead of bottling them up, you should write them into a poem. Allow them to come out. It's rippling healing. Poems carry universal truths about the journey and the steps we're on. God, no, I found myself writing poetry on this journey, and I've definitely shared all of it. Even if it was only a half dozen, 10 tops poems. I felt them, and I wrote them, and I put them out there. Do the same. Have the courage to connect with your intensity. Allow others to connect with their own intensity. This is the mirror you're in. If you can't put the truth out there, do you really believe the truth? Or are you denying the truth? If you're not putting out the truth, are you burying the truth? Denying the truth? Think about it. It's the mirror you're in. Write it out. Poets are allowed to be cryptic. Poets are allowed to be fanciful with their words. They're allowed to write bluntly. They're allowed to write in curves. They're allowed to describe things in magical ways that only make sense to those who truly understand it. The Five of Swords, if you're at war with yourself in your own head, if you're going head to head, ego to ego with another person, that it's their way or your way, and they're clashing your way and their way. It's clashing. Whether it's friendship or love or family, write about it in a poem. Share your truth. Because to forge ahead blindly and swallow the intensity would put painful ripples out. Write it out and share it with only me. Share it with just yourself to start. Until you get your pen name up, until you get your alias up or a second account, just for that. Join a few poetry groups, start sharing your poetry in there. Getting some followers, no one knows it's you but you. Start a new social media account with an alias, a pen name. Join some poetry groups. Allow the pain out. Allow the confusion out. Allow what is draining your manifestation from taking form to go away. Allow your poetry to shift. Allow it to let you open doors. Allow it to jumpstart your journey. You might not even be aware of how this could end up being lucrative for you, because you'll get better at it over time. You could write very long poems. You could write simple ones. You know who's really good? And I follow him on Facebook. Brahms the Poet. That's his pen name. Brahms the Poet. B-R-O-M-S. If you want, you can even look at some of the poetry I've written. I have it on an album on Facebook on my profile account. My actual profile. If you go into my photos, my albums, there's one for original poetry. So I've shared my stuff. Other people might not like it, especially if they know the poetry is about them. They might not like it. Can't help the way you feel. You certainly aren't going to bottle it for them to feel better, because it makes you feel worse. If they don't like it, that's their problem. Then they have to shift behavior. They have to shift their own alignment so that other people aren't writing poetry about them that they don't like. Their fucking problem, not your problem. You've got to be able to speak your mind. And the best way you could do that at this point is through the poetry. That's the mirror you're in. Especially if you've written poetry before and stopped. Especially if at a time in your life you wrote poetry before and stopped. Write your experiences in the moment, whether they're sad or angry or frustrated or filled with love and gratitude, whatever it is. If you're thinking about a memory that made you feel incredible and you're putting yourself back in that moment and writing a poem about it. If you're going back in a memory that you know needs to heal, and so you write it out in a poem, removing it from yourself and giving it its own time and space to heal. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Secret codename Red Jelly Bean. Secret codename Red Jelly Bean. All right, Spirit. Let's blow their mind, shall we? What mirror are they in? What mirror are they in? What is the reflection looking back at them? What is the mirror they are staring into? What mirror are they in? The eternal child and the mother. The eternal child and the mother. Cards number 4 and 1. I'm going to read them both before I explain their mirror, right, as they relate to each other. The inner child, the child of joy. The eternal child is connected to the timeless, ageless, and infinite aspects of life. It is radiant and fearless and seeks joy above all else and at any cost. It struggles being bound to an aging body with physical limitations in a world that demands attention to detail and logistics. The eternal child wants to nix all the rules and responsibilities and go beyond what others say is possible. It wants to return, with plenty of friends, to the land of the free, where divine wine and creativity pour from the earth and sky. We all want to sip from the well of the eternal youth, and this makes the eternal child naturally popular, perhaps even famous. The eternal child glimmers. It reminds us of what is possible, what is magical about this precious life. When it's in its light, it is joyful, playful, and accepts all. It is magic. When it is in its darkness, the person is addicted, selfish, adrift, and easily burnt out. The mother. The great mother, the feminine, the source. We begin our archetypal story with the mother's love. Through her sensual, fertile, and life-giving energy, all creation takes form. Regardless of our birth story, each of our hearts beat for the first time in the warm womb of the mother, where she offered resources from her body for the building of our own. Yet her tale is not so simple. As the mother, especially on the earthly plane, contains both light and dark aspects of the feminine. With the best of intentions, the mother wraps her loving arms around her creations and begins to grip what she is meant to set free. The mother both nurtures and prohibits growth. She gives, yet clings. She creates, yet restricts. Amid this complex energy, the mother holds the key to the eternal challenge of love. When the mother is in its light, it is glowing, generative, creative, and nurturing. When in her shadow and dark, she is dim, exhausted, controlling, and limiting. Being of the eternal child and the mother mirror. If you are a mother, there might be a part of you that longs for freedom from the responsibilities of being a mother and being the eternal child, free and without responsibility. You may have issues with your mother restricting you and limiting you and guiding your path to which you found yourself in the place you're in, because they were overbearing or over nurturing or limiting to you, controlling to you. They were always tired. They were exhausted with the role of being a mother because they were holding on too tightly and forgot that at some point after creation they had to let go and let you be your own person. You may be doing the same thing with your child if you have children. You may be holding on too tightly with too much control and not allowing them the certain freedoms that they have here to be and create their world and their reality and their day. take some of the responsibility off of yourself. You can still love them and nurture them through their ability to make their own choices, to learn from their own mistakes, to trust themselves, to teach them how to trust themselves, that they don't need to trust you. They need to trust themselves because you won't always be here. They need to learn to trust themselves, which means they have to learn how to control their own lives and their own choices. And as a mother, you can nurture them best by teaching them that, by letting go of some of the responsibility and control, by trusting them to make their own choices and learn from their mistakes, instead of trusting your choices and what you've learned from yours. You can tell them stories and you can guide them, but ultimately their life is their own, and whoever they're dealing with is not whoever you dealt with, no matter how similar. And your children are not you, just like you are not your parents. And if we resent our parents in any way, consciously or subconsciously, we're destined to become them in order to understand them. We're destined to make their mistakes in order to understand them, so that we don't teach our children how to repeat it by resenting us for doing the same thing. This is the mirror that you're in. Spirit, give me some insight, please, on overcoming this mirror. The mother has to allow for the freedom that the inner child wants. You have to allow yourself to have the freedom that your inner child wants. You have to release control so that you can be free. So that you can return to joy in your life. Wheel of Fortune. Changing things, the way things are done in the home or with people you reside with. Because I'm being drawn to the castle, the kingdom, and the card. You can't be Mother Dragon protecting the castle and guarding the castle and everybody in it. Just like you would not want to feel like a prisoner in your own home, you don't want your children to feel like prisoners in their own home either. King of Cups. Someone who is not emotionally expressive, but has very deep feelings that go unspoken. And the Knight of Wands. I feel like there's definite fears that are deep and unspoken, and you've got to realize what you fear appears. If you're afraid of something, it's going to manifest. If you're afraid of something, what you fear appears, it's going to manifest, and you're afraid because you're not doing the best you could do. And a part of you knows it. Because if you were doing the absolute best you could possibly do, truly in alignment, you would not be afraid. Knight of Cups, you have to offer apology and or forgiveness and express your love and gratitude for someone for teaching you. The mother teaches the children, yes, but the children also teach the mother. The children are old souls. 10 of Wands. Being emotionally intense and not expressing what you're afraid of to yourself, not being real with yourself and acknowledging it within yourself, creates spiritual burden. You get angry and you snap because people don't understand how afraid you are that they would make the same mistakes you have. You've got to trust that when they learn to trust themselves young, they will not make the same mistakes you did, because you weren't taught that. You've got to let the dark thoughts go. King of Swords in the reverse. Admitting that maybe in thinking you know everything, you know nothing. Thinking you know it all, thinking you have all the answers, actually means you know nothing. You know nothing. Knowing that you know nothing, truly, is in fact knowing it all. Be humble enough to know that what you've experienced is what you know is true for you. But that just because you know what you experienced does not mean you know everything for everyone. The King of Swords in reverse is a humbling of the mind. You don't know it all. You do not have all of the answers. You are not always right. Especially if you're communicating from a place of buried fear that you have not rectified. Because if you're speaking from fear, you are creating what you are afraid of. If you are communicating from a place of fear, you are creating what you're afraid of. If you are speaking from a place of trust within the self, that you know what you're saying is in the highest good and you're not afraid. You're not afraid. You know that your children, if you have them, are smart. Just like you knew as a kid you were smart. You knew better. You knew better. You knew when something was off. You knew when something, that the advice someone was giving you was off. You didn't have to be an old person to know the truth when you heard it, and when you knew bullshit when you heard it. The truth rings differently. The truth sinks in differently. And when you speak from a place of unconditional love and trust, and you are without fear, it is received better than any advice you would give anybody from a fearful place. Trust that they won't make the same mistakes you did, because you're teaching them how to be a better version than you were taught. You're teaching them to trust themselves. You're teaching them to listen to their gut. You're teaching them to lead their life instead of follow the lead of other people, to trust themselves first, to listen to their soul's call first. No matter what you think you see and what you think you know. What you think you see and what you think you know are irrelevant to them and their journey and the way their higher self is guiding them. Your journey and their journey are different. Unless you get fear in the mix, and then it is destined to be the same. I hope that helps, because that's the mirror that you're in. All right. Secret code name. The chair lamp. Secret code name. The chair lamp. And I talked to you about this. I talked to you about the visual that I saw when I received it. It was a very old sitting chair, and it had this very brown overtone to the whole scene. And there was this old lamp, whose lamp you could tell was white when it was bought, but that faded to yellow over time and age. And you could even see the dust. I could even see the dust particles in the air. It was a very old lamp sitting behind a chair. I know it resonated for you, so let's blow your mind a little. What mirror are you in? What mirror are you in? What mirror are you facing? What mirror is reflecting back at you? What mirror are you in? stone. And Aletheia. I'm going to read them both, and then I will explain the mirror between the two of them, right? The integrated energy between the two of them. Card number 47. 67, forgive me. Card number 67. The stone. The eternal, the anchor, the rock. As an archetypal object, the stone holds psychic and literal weight. Its energy is one of permanence, concreteness, and reliability. The stone's ability to transform is nearly imperceptible to us, as it changes ever so slowly over countless human lifespans. A single stone may see thousands of generations come and go. Therefore, it contains an ancient and eternal presence. The stone is best used to anchor our wild side. No matter how far we roam, we can always find our way back. The stone tethers us to earth, helping to ground and connect us to stillness, quiet, and peace. When this card appears, it is likely the stone is a remedy for what ails us. Humble and easily unnoticed, the power of the stone balances the frenzy of our world. In its light, it is steadfast, loyal, committed, and present. When it's dark, it feels weighted down, holds back, and is cold. Aletheia. Card number 77. Truth. Our soul recognizes the truth. When someone speaks it, a cool wave of relief washes over the room, and all the facts and figures in the world fall by the wayside. Such is the power of Aletheia. It has an undeniable resonance that goes beyond the rational. We can also recognize Aletheia by its contagiousness. When we hear someone speak the truth, we see the truth within ourselves and are more likely to tell our own story. The Aletheia card requires us to step toward an act of truth. This might look like a conversation, a gesture, a poetic act, or a ritual that honors the unveiling of what's been concealed. Reclaiming your own truth is a way to reclaim your vital energy, health, and sense of belonging in the world. Truth has its own wings. Set it free. When light, Aletheia is clarity, revelation, and disclosure. When it's dark, it is distorted, gaslighting, and full of excuses. The stone and truth. The truth is solid. The truth is consistent. The truth is impossible to see the shift over time. It's minuscule. Stones, like crystals, hold great power. They are vessels, in a sense, of truth. Stones hold the truth and memories of lifetimes. They are ancient energy that are reliable and dependable. This is the mirror you are in. Take the best qualities of the person your code name reminded you of. Their best qualities. The chair lamp. Secret code name, the chair lamp. Take their best qualities and continue forward, holding their memory like a stone. Solid and reliable in the truth of their best qualities. Embody their best. Because anything outside of their best, whenever they were in their darkness, whenever they felt weighted down, whenever they felt like they needed to hold back, whenever they were cold, that was not their best. This is a reminder, truth, to not let the reality weigh you down. To not hold yourself back or be cold with people that you love. Do not hold back. Do not hold back. Learn from the wisdom of the stone. Learn from the wisdom of the stone. Don't distort it. Don't pretend. Don't lie to others or yourself, making them think they're crazy. Don't make excuses not to love them. Don't tell them you didn't remember when you did. Don't tell them you forgot when you didn't. Tell them you love often. Be consistent. Let the truth, the most beautiful parts of the person, carry forward, and forgive them for their shadow, because they had to show you what it looked like and what it leaves people feeling after they've gone. When they're in their shadow, you know what it feels like to be around after they're gone. So the parts of you that don't like what you feel surrounding them, forgive them. They had to show you and lead by example what it creates to be in that shadow. Love openly and often. Speak your truth from a loving place openly and often. Be present like the stone, openly and often. Be solid and reliable in that love, in that truth, openly and often. This is the mirror that you're in. What does the events unfolding look like, Spirit, to be in the light of this energy? Page of coin. Four of Cups. Four of Swords. And the Ten of Cups. If you've been guarded and wearing armor, and afraid to love. You have to understand this was also their shadow. They were wearing armor and they were afraid to love. They were afraid to love and they were afraid to let love in. And you miss them and long for them because there's a part of you that always wanted to love them, and in a way that maybe was kept at boundary with them because they had their own armor. Maybe they longed for a certain love from their parents that they never got, and it was always held at a distance. You don't express those things. You're a stone, you're detached, you're cold. The shadow was what was given. And it didn't actually feel good. And this is about you going from an armored place that doesn't feel good, who is just as cold, right? The robot, just as cold. Going from a place that is just as cold and armored to cutting off the demons that are keeping you from flying. The snakes on the wings, using your sword of truth, the expression and communication, right, swords of truth, to cut the snakes that keep your wings from flying. And arrive at the 10 of Cups. The bliss, the eternal gratitude. The chair lamp, secret code name, the chair lamp, the person that you were reminded of when I gave you this code name. Wants you to feel the eternal bliss they didn't allow themselves to feel. Take their best qualities and continue to ripple those. Take the qualities that you know they held that hurt you or left you longing, and do the opposite, so that the people closest to you in your life that want to love you can. So that the people that you love in your life that are closest to you can be loved wholly and fully by you in the truth. And it will stop the pain ripple. The things that are left unclosed after someone passes. The question marks, the longing, the missing, the wondering, the wishing. This person is coming through with a message for you that says they believe you can do better than they did. They know you will. The karma, the pain, they want it to end with them. They don't want it to continue with you or your children. They want you to see the mirror for exactly the way it is. Learn from where they fell short so that you don't. So that you don't. They love you too much. They love your kids too much. to settle for the repeating of pain. Because of them. Because of their shadow. Forgive them. They didn't realize what they were doing until they weren't here anymore. They didn't realize the shadow they were in. The best way to honor pain is to heal it. He learned. And the best way he can honor his pain is to heal it. And that's the truth. So he's come here, reliable, solid and stable for you with the truth. He could have done better and he knows it. He doesn't want you in the same position he's in right now. He wants you to do better now. And know that you know it. Know that you are. All right. Secret code name. Japanese cherry blossom. Secret code name, Japanese cherry blossom. All right. Let's blow their mind, Spirit, shall we? What mirror are they in? What mirror are they in? What mirror are they facing? What reflection is staring back at them? What is the mirror? Spirit, please. The stone. What mirror are they in, Spirit? Give me one more. What mirror are they in? Secret code name, Japanese cherry blossom. The village. The stone and the village. And it's crazy how they look like they're opening this portal under the ground that is kind of almost like a stone. It has this mirroring effect right in the imagery. A stone inside a circle, inside another container, and there's even this triangular energy with the mountain. So you got a mirror, all right. The stone and the village. So let me read to you the stone. The eternal, the anchor, the rock. As an archetypal object, the stone holds psychic and literal weight. Its energy is one of permanence, concreteness, and reliability. The stone's ability to transform is nearly imperceptible to us as it changes ever so slowly over countless human lifespans. A single stone may see thousands of generations come and go. Therefore, it contains an ancient and eternal presence. The stone is best used to anchor our wild side, no matter how far we roam. We can always find our way back. The stone tethers us to earth, helping to ground and connect us to stillness, quiet, and peace. When this card appears, it is likely the stone is a remedy for what ails us. Humble and easily unnoticed, the power of the stone balances the frenzy of our world. In its light, it is steadfast, loyal, and committed. It's present. When dark, it is weighted down, holds back, and cold. The Village, card number 41. The hometown, the family, the tribe. The village presents us with a conundrum. On one hand, it's the place that feels most like home, the place to which you can always return. Nostalgia and comfort draw us back. On the other hand, it is the very place you must leave in order to grow. Around the village, an unspoken boundary exists, one most villagers do not want you to cross. Though some support your leaving, and still you hear whispers of doubt as you venture beyond its borders, leaving them behind. The energy of the village is present anytime we feel restricted by a certain group, community, family, place, or ideology. It may have served us in the past, yet staying within its parameters will never satiate our thirst for life. Thank the village for all it has provided, knowing you will someday return. For now, the world awaits. When light, the village is intimate, rooted, intergenerational, and communal. When dark, it is small-minded, gossipy, trapped, and restricting. I think you understand with this card. Person whose secret code name this is, Japanese Cherry Blossom. I think you're well aware of the fact that the hometown, right, the family, the tribe, originally, why you left the village, right, because we've had these conversations. It's because it was dark, it was small-minded, it was gossipy, it was trapped, and it was restricting. It limited you. Perception of other people was limiting to you. The stone is about the truth that multiple generations hold, that change ever so slowly, almost unnoticeable over time, right? Many, many lifetimes. You have to understand, this is the mirror you're facing. The reality is a lot of people end up going home to their hometown at the end of life. The mirror in you is asking you, is this what you believe is your truth? Discerning, right? Do you believe this is your truth? Do you believe that you will go back to that place? To return home? Do you feel good around the nostalgia? Driving down the old streets, seeing where you and your best friend used to live, or where your old family's house was, or the old supermarket that you used to go to, or the corner store, or the meat market. Does the nostalgia actually feel good, or does it not? The light of the stone is reliable and present and committed to the family, right? And the tribe and the hometown, what is in the hometown. especially if you still have family there. Or do you feel more at home where you are? Is there nostalgia where you are? Things you remember doing with family or tribe, right? Soul tribe. Things that you lived, that you remember and will take with you forever moving forward where you are. It was just 171:17 on my timer. Where do you feel your presence is served best? What place, like a stone or crystal, is healing for you? If you're being faced with a decision, of where home is in the mirror, the home is where you've healed. The home is the portal, the memory that is consistent with healing. That's the way to the top of the mountain, to your greatest heights. This is the mirror that you're in. How many people have returned home to their hometown after leaving? How many people have returned? God knows I've come back to my hometown multiple times. I know I'm leaving for good. Personally. I'm leaving for good. I'm not coming back. Where I grew up doesn't actually feel like home anymore. Where I'm going, now that feels like home. Being there felt more at home than I felt in my whole life. How do you feel? Do you want to stay in your home? What really feels like home? Or would you return to a home that maybe doesn't feel like home anymore? Your soul isn't connected there. It's not rooted there. Your soul has rooted and healed and grew where? So thank your hometown and the people you grew up with there for teaching you how to grow beyond their walls, their boundaries that they're afraid to cross, that they're afraid to leave. Thank them for teaching you that you made the right choice to grow out of that small pond, that you would let yourself flourish in a different one. What does this healing unfold look like? Spirit, please. The moon. The moon. The inner child is ancient. It needs to be free. The child, the youth, yearns to be free. It yearns to be free. There might be a lot of feelings returning to the village, the hometown, that you are unwilling to feel. It doesn't actually feel good to feel it. Because you've healed. You've healed. You've created stability. Your moon sign. You've created stability. You've created beauty. You've created healing. You had a target, you had a goal, and you hit the mark. You wanted to leave, and you did. To go back, your inner self, in the most mature way it can, says that doesn't feel good. The idea of going back doesn't actually feel good. And this might be the reality in the mirror that you're facing. Do you go back to the old? Nostalgically bringing back your old self that wanted to be different and grow and heal, go back and revert back? Or do you stay rooted? Do you stay rooted where you are? Because you're not that person anymore. Are you the person that needs help healing? Or are you the person that healed yourself? Because the person in the village needed help healing. That's where they got all the karmic lessons. The person who left the village healed. Chose to end the karmic lessons. Chose the growth instead. The growth from the lessons. The continuation of them and the growth from them are two very different things. If you've considered moving back for whatever reason, and a part of you doesn't actually want to, make a heart over head decision. It doesn't matter if it makes sense to go home. It matters whether or not it feels right to go home. When home is where your heart is. That's the mirror you're in. Trust your growth. If you don't ever want to go back in this life or another, don't. Don't. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. And that wraps up the moon event, everybody. That wraps it up. So, until next time, which will probably be from Maryland. I will be in Maryland for at least 10 days. Possibly a full 2 weeks. Or even longer, depending on how long the family emergency goes on. I will see you next time. Remember, always love each other, love yourselves. Bye, everybody.